Second hour, yeah. Okay. So this first problem says, what number plus 4 equals 15? And what did you say? 11. So some of these problems we can kind of just figure out in our head, but I'd like you to show your steps because there's going to be problems where you can't just do it in your head. So our step, we're going to look on the right-hand side of the line where the variable is. And you notice with the variable, it says plus 4. So what is the opposite of plus 4 or positive 4? Minus 4. So we're going to minus 4 on each side. So whatever we do to one side of the line, we do it to the other. What is 15 minus 4? 11, and that's what you told me the answer is. And then the 4's cancel out here. So we're left with 11 equals W or 11 equals W or W equals 11. And we can test that out. We plug it back in, 11 plus 4, that's 15. So there's our steps. Okay, so even if you could do it in your head, I'd like to see at least that. Let's go over to the second one. So I'm going to give you a moment. Try the second one on your own. This one is asking, there's a number, when I subtract 2, I get 10. So what number minus 2 equals 10? So many of you might be able to just do it in your head and figure out what the answer is. If you can't, though, notice with the variable this time we have a minus 2 or a negative 2. Both of those are the same thing, minus 2 and negative 2. So what's the opposite of subtraction or negative?
Addition.
Addition or positive. So we got to do plus 2 to both sides. Okay. So these will cancel out and you'll be left with A equals 12. So plug it back in. 12 minus 2, is that 10? It sure is. So we're good. Good there. Now we're moving on to the multiplication ones. So on this problem, it says 3 times what number equals 21? So can you guys come up with a number that you multiply with 3 and get 21? Marian? 7. Okay. But there's steps that we can take to get to that answer. Okay, if we can't do it in our head. So what's the opposite of multiplication?
Division.
Division. What are we going to divide both sides by?
3.
3. It's whatever's with the variable because we're trying to get the variable by itself. So we'll divide both sides by 3. What happens to my 3's on the left-hand side? They cancel. 3 over 3 is just 1. So 1 times B is just B. So B on this side. 21 divided by 3, you guys already told me, is 7. And we can check it out by plugging it in. 3 times 7 is 21. Let's move on over to the next. Go ahead, try that one on your own. I'm just going to come by. If you could just have it on that one, even if you're ahead, so I can see. Good. Okay, so what do we have to divide both sides by?
4.
Yeah, divide both sides by 4 because we're trying to figure out 4 times what number equals 24. Those will cancel out. Yes, it is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Good. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit more complicated, I guess. Okay. So this problem right here, just because I think it's going to be easier, I'm going to rewrite it like this. Y divided by 2 equals 34. Okay? So I'm going to start here like this. And can I put a 1 in front of the Y? Is that okay? Yeah. And so that's the same thing. And this time I have this fraction, right? I have 1 over 2. Whenever you have a fraction, okay, this is actually multiplication, which means we'd have to do division. But when we divide fractions, does anybody remember the rule that you have to know for fractions? Division?
Keep, change, flip, quote, front.
Yes. What did you say?
Keep, change, flip.
Keep, change, flip. KCF or something? KFC? I don't know. That's what one student said. Yes, David. Which means we need to multiply by the reciprocal. Yes, perfect. What does reciprocal mean, though? Yeah, flip the numbers around. So we're going to multiply by 2 over 1. Okay? If this was negative, you would keep it negative. So keep the sign, okay? So if this was negative 1 over 2, then we would write negative 2 over 1. Okay, but it's not. So we multiply this side by 2 over 1, and we got to do the same thing over here. Let's change the 34 to a fraction. How do we write that as a fraction? 34 over 1. Good. What happens to the two fractions over here?
We cancel out each other.
Cancels out, and we're left with y equals 34 times 2. You don't know, you could just like jot this off to the side. Good, 68. And then 1 times 1? 1. And we could just write it as 68. Am I moving too quick? Are we remember this kind of?
What?
Try the next one on your own, the one off to the side. This one right here. You can just put a 1 here. Okay, so this is 1 over 7. What do I have to multiply both sides by?
7.
7 over 1. Because I'm flipping it. Okay, those will cancel out. I'm left with a equals 5 times 7. 1 times 1. So this is just 35. Good. And we can test it out. 35 divided by 7, is that 5? Yes. Okay, the reason that I show you it that way is because then these next ones, what do we think we're going to do with the 3 over 7? David? Multiply by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal here? 7 over 3. So we're multiplying by 7 over 3 on both sides. Okay. Since this is a fraction here, let's go ahead and change this 24 to a fraction too. Okay. These will cancel out on this side. We're going to be left with n equals. Remember, when we're multiplying fractions, you multiply the top, multiply the bottom. And simplify if you can. So here we have 24 times 7. Again, if you don't know that, we can just off to the side. So 24 times 7 on top is 168. 1 times 3? 3. Can we simplify this?
Yes.
Yes? What do you got, Gary?
56.
56, yes. If we divide the top by 3 and the bottom by 3, we will get 56. Or if you just put it into the calculator and got 56, that's great too. Questions about that one? Go ahead and try the last one on your own. Once you have that, raise your hands. Let me check it. Good, turn it in. Good, turn it in. Good, turn it in. Turn it in. Try it again. Turn it in. Turn it in. Good, turn it in. Good, turn it in. Good, turn it in.
Oh,
Good. Yes. Good. So what are we multiplying both sides by? 3 over 1. Let's flip it. So both sides are going to be multiplied by 3 over 1. I want to write both of them as fractions. These will cancel out here. Again, with multiplying fractions, you multiply the top. So 13 times 3? 39. 1 times 1? 1. And we can just simplify this to 39. Make sure you have this on your paper and click turn in. Click turn in.